If you have felt that your life can have a higher purpose, stay until the end of the video. Dear Reader presents The Angel of the Island. Once upon a time there was a small island, called the Marías Island. This one had crystal clear waters and a lot of happiness as a normal part of everyday life. Its inhabitants, a hardworking and united community, were independent of the other islands, so they were happy in their work and serving the other islanders. From time to time, an angel of God subtly flew over the island, was happy to see that everything was good and returned happily to heaven. Among the inhabitants of the island, there was something curious: 100 nurses, all named Mary, and 100 electricians, all named Mario. The Marios ensured that the electrical grid operated smoothly, thus guaranteeing the stability and efficient functioning of the island. Meanwhile, the Marías, with their compassion and medical skills, cared for the islanders with devotion and affection. Everything was going perfectly, until one day, an unexpected event changed the course of the island: a great conference on how to become millionaires easily. The angel witnessed the conference from a distance, thinking that something was not right with so many wonders that were depicted in the speech. The Marios and Marías were captivated by the stories of triumph that involved pyramid businesses, reselling digital currencies and the sale of erotic selfies. Intoxicated by the promise of a life full of luxuries and comforts, they decided to leave their traditional jobs behind and follow in the footsteps of the lecturers. Initially, many of the Marios and Marías flourished in their new businesses, taking the island through excitement and novelty. However, the reality soon became apparent. The absence of health professionals and neglect of electrical maintenance began to take their toll. Diseases that were previously controlled began to spread, blackouts became more frequent, and the island's stability was threatened. Meanwhile, the Marios and Marías were absorbed in their efforts to accumulate more wealth. They no longer cared if they had to make other people lose their money, their soul, or if they had to do something dishonorable if in exchange they had their wealth. Likewise, with the passage of time, most of them were bankrupt. The angel watched as the people of the island became more and more degraded, and he flew to ask God if he could intervene, if he could force them to do good, but God answered him. "I know it hurts you to see them make so many mistakes, my angel. But remember that for light to exist, darkness must also be allowed. They went through times of light and love, now they are challenged by the darkness of selfishness. They already have the tools to get ahead. I gave them body, mind, soul and free will so that they could create wonders like me. If you force them to do good, there would be no merit in their achievements or growth along the way. And for them to fulfill their purpose in this world, it is essential that they grow on their own. Don't worry, trust them. Love them as I love them." After a while, only one Mario and one Mary managed to accumulate significant wealth, but instead of helping on the island of the Marios, they chose to leave for the neighboring island to give lectures on how to become millionaires quickly. At this conference, the millionaire Mario and Mary showed their large checks, but without the debts of the other 99 who failed, nor the decline of their society. The angel watched the conference from afar, but he couldn't resist the urge to do something about it. So he promised himself that he wouldn't force anyone, but he could be a messenger of the truth. So with his heavenly powers, he made himself a human body to blend into the public and intervene. When the conference ended, they gave space to a round of questions, in which the angel, now in the form of a humble old woman, took the floor. "Good evening, dear neighbors. I want to tell you that I come from Marios Island. There they also gave a conference on how to earn money without effort. At first it worked, but over time, 99% of them ended up losing their money, their time and their happiness. Even the few who won were losing their peace of mind, since before they helped people with their talents and felt valuable by contributing, but now they live for themselves and for money. And as Jesus Christ said, 'What good is it for will man win the world if he loses himself?' I want to finish by saying that the purpose of life is much more than wealth. true happiness starts from growing as people who add value and cultivate their peace of spirit. I know that if we unite as sister islands, we can work wonders together and move forward. When the angel finished speaking, the speakers ended the event and escaped, while the people in the audience felt in their hearts the great truth of the angel. Finally, people left the conference venue and many decided to check on the Marías island that the angel spoke about, confirming that what he said was true. Little by little there was support between the two islands, there was more teamwork, communication, people inspired others to strive and be happy by truly contributing, with less and less quick money businesses and more integral progress of society. And so, the angel saw how the darkness became light thanks to the growth of the people. He also realized that everything was part of God's great plan for the world. Every stage had its purpose, even allowing dark stages in life and giving people the internal tools so they can get ahead. And finally, the angel of God subtly flew over the island, was happy to see that everything was good and returned happily to heaven. Moral: the story about the angel of the island teaches us important lessons about a life with purpose, motivation, and growth. The first is that God allows the stages of darkness in life so that the light of love can shine forth. We have the freedom to make better decisions, and the Father gave us body, mind, soul and free will as tools to create solutions, growing along the way with motivation and enthusiasm. We can also learn from the inhabitants of Marías Island, since they did not communicate with the other islands, representing people who must ask a little more help from God and their neighbors, sharing the burdens of life. Perhaps the most important lesson comes from the following thought: dear reader, perhaps you are struggling in your studies or you have already graduated and it hurts you to see those Marías and Marys in easy money businesses. On the internet you see photos of people even earning more than professionals, while doing things that apparently have no price to pay. But remember the other 99 who ended up losing themselves, representing all those who failed undertaking such quick money paths that no one talks about. And he also notes that those who did earn money no longer felt that they were truly contributing and were no longer happy using their talents. Therefore, let us keep in mind that we need people to help you and me with professionalism, just as we must strive to give our best to others in any job in which life places us. Not only seeking to accumulate wealth for ourselves like the Marías and Marys of history, but being people with a purpose, motivated by a vocation with which they accumulate for the common good and for God. And in the end, authentic happiness was always there, in feeling valuable while contributing to a high purpose. Cheer up! Your contribution is worth it. If you liked this story, please give it a like. Remember to subscribe and leave me in the comments what teaching this video has left you. Finally, I leave you the link to the previous story, which will surely also inspire you. Now I say goodbye. Thank you very much, dear reader.